But here's where things really get fascinating in our matchup. You can throw all that out the window because Michigan is to Ohio State what Alabama is to Georgia. When Ohio State plays Michigan, they just forget how to play football. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great day. Hope all of you having a great Thanksgiving week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, it is time for the Little Bro Ohio State versus Big Bro Michigan preview. Me personally, I think the best rival matchup in all college football is the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn. But the past 3 to 4 years, it has most definitely been the game between Little Bro State and Big Bro Michigan. I'm recording this video in the morning. You guys are going to see it in the afternoon. I got to throw this in there. I just got back from Bojangles. They have hands down the best chicken biscuit. It never misses. They got great everything there, but for me personally, my go-to is the chicken biscuit. If you're from the Southeast, more specifically Northern Alabama, go to Bojangles, get the chicken biscuit with grape jelly. You'll come back and thank me later. Don't even get me started on the Bo-Berry biscuits. Don't even get me started. Are you kidding me? Those things are dangerous. Look at that. You gotta have the grape jelly on it. This is so good. I'm beyond excited for this game. I've been looking forward to it, really, ever since last year's game. It's one of the best out there. How can you not love this one? Speaking of ready for this game, by the way, you know who's also looking forward to this game? Ohio State fans, especially the Ohio State fans on our channel. And you know why. If you don't know why, I'll enlighten you. For those of you that don't know, the reason I call Ohio State Little Bro State is because they can't beat Michigan. And after they lost the second time, I said, look, I'm calling you Little Bro State until you can beat Michigan. And the only way to get rid of that nickname is if and when you beat Michigan again. Didn't happen 2 years ago, and I thought it was going to happen last year, but like Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. The name continued for 365 more days. Ohio State fans till this day on every single video clamor and say, Matt, stop calling us that. Stop calling us Little Bro State. Well, guess what, my friend? Here's your opportunity. My message to Ohio State fans is this right here. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at your team. Your team is the reason I call them Little Bro State. But here's the good news. We are only a few days out from that name potentially changing. All you gotta do is win. It's as simple as that. You gotta beat Big Bro. I can't dumb it down any more than that. Obviously, I'm rooting for Michigan to win because I want the name to continue, and I like to see the underdog pull off the upset. Who doesn't like to see that? But however, let me throw this in there, a little disclaimer. Just because I want Michigan to win, I'm not gonna shy away from that. It doesn't mean I'm gonna pick them in this game. It doesn't mean I think they're gonna win. Now that I think about it, we have rarely talked about Ohio State in any of the previews, especially a separate video, because they really haven't played anybody. It's been a cupcake of a schedule. Holy crap, I just realized Ohio State, outside of Texas, hasn't played a ranked team the entire season. That was the last time we talked about Ohio State. Can you believe it? The first week of the regular season, and we're going to talk about them in the last week. You can't make it up. But I'm not hating on Ohio State. You can't control who you play, but here's what they can control, how they look, and they have looked phenomenal the entire season. I think this Ohio State team looks way better than last year's team, but that's a different conversation for a different day. Heading into the season, what did I say? Ohio State's the best team in the country. As do why they weren't number one. No idea. And don't even get me started. I'm not going on a rant and tangent. Eventually, some others came around, and all throughout this season, in my personal opinion, they have been the best team in the country, and it's not even close. The gap from Ohio State and whoever you want to put it to, whether that's Texas A&M, Indiana, Georgia, it doesn't matter. Whoever you get it to, it is a monumental gap from the Little Bro State. Ohio State has been so much better than everybody else this year. So much better in all facets of the game. They got one of the best offenses in the nation, one of the best defenses, one of the best quarterbacks, the best wide receiver core. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They are the best team. But here's where things really get fascinating in our matchup. You can throw all that out the window because Michigan is to Ohio State what Alabama is to Georgia. When Ohio State plays Michigan, they just forget how to play football. It's a complete opposite for Michigan, similar to what Alabama does when they play Georgia. When they play Ohio State the past 3 or 4 years, they play out of their mind. I like to back up everything I say with cold hard facts and evidence, but rival week, I mean, if you're a fan of a team that's in a big-time rival matchup, you know, you can just throw everything out the window at this point. You can't point at stats. You can't point at common opponent. You can't point at anything because look at last year's Michigan team. I still can't fathom that they beat Ohio State. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, there was nothing you could point to in that game heading into a matchup that would even give you a slight sliver of hope that Michigan would pull off the upset, and they did it. There's just some things you can't take into account, and whatever voodoo Michigan has over Ohio State these past 4 years, That's exactly what I'm referring to and talking about. Let's put the line for this game, shall we? As you can see, Ohio State is favored by 9.5. I'd say it's about right. I thought it was going to be around 7 or 8, but that's fair. I don't really think the home field advantage thing matters too much because Ohio State didn't look good in their 2 losses at home to Michigan the past 4 years, and they didn't look good on the road either. I think it's going to be slightly beneficial for Michigan, but it's not something that's really going to persuade my judgment on this game. What makes all this even more intriguing, if you weren't intrigued enough, is Michigan has a legit argument for being in the playoff if they win this game, and they're also not too shabby this year. They're way better than what they were last year. They haven't really beaten anybody, but they don't have crazy bad losses either. In their 2 losses this year, they lost to Oklahoma by double digits. That game wasn't close, and they also lost to USC. That game wasn't close. Their wins haven't been too sexy. The one thing with Sharon Moore that you got to get used to if you're a Michigan fan, you're going to play down to your competition is what it is. However, they normally play up to her competition. This year, not so much in the USC game and Oklahoma game. Here's what would concern me if I'm a Michigan fan, and I know you got 4 straight wins over these guys. The offensive line hasn't been great, and Bryce Underwood, is he going to be ready for the moment? I don't think so. Bryce Underwood is going to be special one day, but he's not special currently. He's just, meh. I give him slightly above average at best. But here's the kicker with that. Michigan won last year with Davis freaking Warren. I say that with all due respect. And he wasn't even that good in the game. He had that costly interception on the goal line. Michigan has got to avoid the disastrous play in this game, or disastrous plays, make it plural at that. Can't turn the ball over, and you're going to have a shot. Because we know Ohio State, they're going to be nervous, they're going to be pressing a little bit, because when you're in their situation where you're supposed to win this game, and you've been supposed to win this game, yeah, it adds way more pressure to it than it originally already would. Whereas if you're Michigan, yeah, you've beat them 4 years in a row, but you're playing with house money, so you get to let your nuts hang a little bit. At this point in time, you're Michigan, you're like, it's whatever. We're not supposed to win this game, so we're going to play like we have nothing to lose. And granted, they really don't have anything to lose. But there's one big X factor in this game for me. It's not Jeremiah Smith. It's not Carnell Tate. It's not the Ohio State defense. I think they're going to shut down Michigan. It's Julian Sayin. My, oh my. He throws the prettiest ball you're ever going to see. You want to talk about a pretty ball? Look no farther than Julian Sayin. I know a bunch of college football fans haven't been watching him this year because it goes back to this. Ohio State hasn't played anybody, but you got to tune in this weekend if you haven't seen him play. He is an NFL quarterback right now playing at the collegiate level, and he also doesn't make mistakes. I love that. He is, this is what all due respect as well, 2 times better than Will Howard. Will Howard was mediocre at best. He was just the guy that got him there. You know, he caught fire at the end of the season. In the playoff run, he was good, but it's easy to be good when you have the supporting cast that he had out there. What makes Julian Sayin way different, I think he takes this Ohio State offense to another level, is he is an elite quarterback. Well, Howard was a good quarterback that can make some big-time throws occasionally. Julian Sayin is already an elite quarterback that rarely makes bad throws. I said this last year, I'm going to say it again. I do not see a case and scenario where Michigan walks out of here with a win. Don't see it. They're not better at Ohio State than anything. They don't have a better offense, don't have a better defense, they don't have a better quarterback, don't have better skill players, nothing. And my job is to make the best educated guess possible, and that's all these are. They're guesses. I know some people are like, oh no, I know this is going to happen. You don't know. We're all guessing. And I don't think it's a smart pick to pick Michigan in this ball game. Ohio State's the way better team, but they were also the way better team last year, and we saw what happened. There's a reason we play the games. I'll throw this out there as well. I'm the first person to tell you, hey, it's a rival game. You can throw everything out the window, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. Can Michigan win? Yes. But even with all that being said, even with it being rival week, I would be shocked if Michigan won this game. I really would. You know what I just thought about, too? What happens to Ryan Day if he loses 5 straight to Michigan? I already stated he should have been fired, and I still think he should be fired, but whew. Ohio State fans, look in the comment section. Would you be on the fire Ryan Day hype train? I'm curious. Let me address this too while I'm thinking about it. There's people who are saying, oh yeah, Matt, you was wrong about Ryan Day being a fraud. What about that? No. When have I ever shied away from that? Y'all do understand Ryan Day is still a fraud. Just because you won a Mickey Mouse national championship, that doesn't mean you're not a fraud. Anybody could have coached that team last year to a national championship. Ryan Day is still a fraud. My stance on him has not changed. And Ohio State fans are beyond toxic. They were all calling for his job last year, and after he won the championship, they were praising him, and now they take up for him all the time. You're being a hypocrite. Or not a hypocrite. That's the wrong word, isn't it? Better way of saying it is probably, contradicting yourself. You get the point, but we'll talk all about that after the game. I got Little Bro State in this one, getting rid of, unfortunately, the Little Bro State name. I hope it doesn't happen, but that's what I'm going to roll with. We'll say Ohio State 31, Michigan 14. 31-14. I don't think it's going to be close. Let me know your thoughts down below. But